It's over. You can write it. You can probably just go ahead and write City's name on the Premier League trophy because it's over. I mean, I've said it again and again. Okay, in football, if you don't convert the chances, those chances will convert you. Now, what does chances will convert you mean? I don't know, but it's just like you gotta make your shots. Like you gotta, Havertz. Oh my God, Havertz at the end, man. Free header over the bar, and just like that. That's how close Arsenal have been. It's actually so symbolic. Arsenal have been that close so many times, right? You can even look at Eze going in off the post. He had a left-footed shot that went in inside the post but bounced out. That's how close Arsenal have been to the Premier League for year after year after year after year, and they just cannot get it over the line. And we can talk about the game, right? We can talk about how Arsenal put Eze at left wing, which is like fine if you want to do that, okay, sure. But what do you have Trossard and Martinelli for if you're gonna put Eze at left wing? It's so weird. It's so weird, man. Man. Let's shout out some players today because Cherokee marvelous goal today. Marvelous goal. He didn't do too much outside of the goal, but like it wasn't he was a net positive. That goal was impeccable. We have to give it some love. Holland as well. He tore up this Arsenal backline today. These two center backs had a tough time with him. And I mean that's what Holland does. It's not pretty. It's super ugly even, but he gets the job done. Uh, City overall, they just outclassed Arsenal, and it's weird. It's not even weird actually, because I think I found the problem, right? The problem with Arsenal. The question is, why do Arsenal never seem to get the job done? How do you keep bottling? And my theory is it's a culture thing, which is wild to say because Arteta, he came in and he changed the culture, right? He took out these jokers and people who weren't as focused like Lacazette, Guendouzi, etc. He came in, got him. He came in with the duck and the rabbit, right? With the light bulb. He inspired this culture, and it's lovely to see. But there's still another level to reach, and that level is where Man City is, right? It's one thing to have a culture that's serious and you can start to get your guys focused, inspired, but it's another thing to make a winning culture. A winning culture is so tough to do, but City have done it. And when we talk about City's winning culture, right? You can talk about all the Premier Leagues they won. This might be another one, right? This might make it 7 and 9 years. But it's like when you have that, that's impeccable. It's so hard to break. You have a winning culture. You come into the games like this, you expect to win because this is City. We're supposed to be English champs. And Arsenal just aren't there culturally, right? I mean, I think if it's not a player quality thing, right? When you look at these lineups today, maybe you take City's front line, but you definitely take Arsenal's back line. And midfield, maybe you put two City midfielders, one Arsenal midfielder, or vice versa. But whatever the case may be, the gap is very small, right? But you know why City completely outclassed Arsenal today? Because City have a winning culture. Even for a guy like Cherky, who I watched a ton in France, obviously being a PSG fan, Lyon weren't winning jack, right? Lyon made the UCL semifinals all those years ago, but they weren't winning anything. They couldn't even win a Coupe de France. You know, they never really challenged us for the league. Like our closest challengers were always Lens or Marseille or Monaco, never really Lyon. And that's because they lost the winning culture there, right? But you go into a winning culture, you can acclimate, especially a player like Cherky. You acclimate instantly. And now Cherky's scoring key goals, clutch goals in a title deciding game. That's what it is. That's what it is. And that's what Arteta has to, aspire to. That's what Arsenal have to aspire to. You have to be able to get to a winning culture. You have to be able to win games like this and not feel the immense pressure that comes with the game. And that's the difference there. That's really what it is, in my opinion. There were some great performances today. We can talk about tactics and whatnot, but at the end of the day, I think what happened off the pitch, as far as the mentality, non-physical things like the mentality and the way the players are thinking, you know, oh, we're 1-1. Do we want to, really go for this game, or do we want to, you know, chill and play not to lose? These types of things, right? Like that's what's gonna make the difference. I'm just low key disappointed in Arsenal. I don't know if you can tell, but I really thought it was their year. I think a lot of us did. I was like, yeah, Arsenal surely got to win it this year. And what's another question on top of that is if you don't win it this year, right? Because technically they're still in it, right? They it, City win on Wednesday. It's 70 points. They have a higher goal difference if they win. By the way, anything can happen. They would have a higher goal difference, but then everyone still needs to win the rest of their games, and goal difference comes into account. Arsenal do have Newcastle next, but after that they have like really easy games. I think games they should be winning, right? I think they have like West Ham and Fulham, and and teams like that, right? Teams you should be beating. And City have like Everton and Villa, and so I think the schedules favor Arsenal. But at the end of the day, all that won't matter if you don't have the culture to back it up, to inspire your players to make it a winning culture. And to make a winning culture, you got to win. You don't have a trophy, you don't have a cup. I guess they have a cup from like 2020, but you don't have consistent cups. Obviously, no UCL. You need something. Show your players that you're winning. Those are what those are for, right? That's how you create a winning culture. But yeah, Arsenal just that's the difference. But yeah, I mean, we can talk a little bit about some performances today. I want to shout out Bernardo Silva, absolutely incredible today as well. Holland was nice, even though it was kind of ugly. He was tearing up the center backs. Saliba, Gabriel, they were having a tough time with him. But it is Holland. I can't blame him. It wasn't pretty, but he got his goal. And at the end of the day, I mean, Arsenal just I can't. I almost said they didn't show up. They show up. They showed up. They showed up. I can't say they didn't. But you're leaving the game feeling like, man, is this really all they have? Was this Arsenal's best punch? Can Arsenal throw their best punch without Bukayo Saka on the field? I don't know. But I just feel like this cannot be the same team that dominated, the Premier League all these months. Now they're showing up like this to the Etihad. It feels so strange. It's rough, man. It's rough. Man, but City, shout out to them. They came to play, and it's that culture. The players are great, but at the end of the day, the culture. Guys like Bernardo Silva, who are winners, Rodri, winners, instilling that culture into guys like Cherky, Semenyo, right? Kusanov. Man, Gehi. I mean, this back line showed up massive today. Massive. Kusanov, incredible last ditch defending. And let me say it again, if I haven't said it before. People diss Ligue 1 all the time. I'm telling you, the Ligue 1 defender to Premier League pipeline never fails. Never, never fails. Okay, it's failed a few times like the Saucy, but it's so proven. And I think that hopefully this gives more respect for Ligue 1, but I doubt it. People won't use their brains. But it's lovely to see Kusanov because we were playing against him, PSG was when he was at Lens, and you could see the potential, but it wasn't refined, and it's now so refined. He's so refined now, and obviously he was super young. I think he was 18 or 19 when we were playing against him, but it's nice to see, him grow into this player. Donnarumma, by the way, had a howler to give up this goal by Havertz. I mean, Havertz is lucky he's got a green rating here because that goal was very fugazi. But hey, all I can say is Donnarumma making Luis Enrique look like a genius, man. Everyone's like, why would PSG sell Donnarumma? He's the best keeper in the world. Best keepers in the world do not kick it straight to their opponent like that. They don't. They don't. And this is not the first time he's done it. Look up Monaco, November 24th, 2023. PSG 5, Monaco 2. One of those Monaco goals, Donnarumma kicks it, I mean, straight passes it to Minamino right here in his box. It's absolutely so wild. Anyway, that's not the point of the video. At the end of the day, City showed up to win, showed up knowing they could win, and they've been winning. And Arsenal, they just didn't meet the moment in the same way. I think it's fair to say. I don't think all these tactics and stuff. Like I don't even think Arsenal failed tactically. They pressed. They did a lot of right things. They put pressure on City. That's obviously how they got that goal. They did good stuff, but at the end of the day, I think it's a mentality thing, right? It's a mentality. Like, are you a winner or are you not? Do you want to be a winner? Do you want it bad enough? Does Arsenal want it bad enough? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think Arsenal want it bad enough. It's as simple as that. Now, for a little message of hope to the Arsenal fans, it's not over, right? 70 points if City win on Wednesday versus Burnley, it still wouldn't be over because everyone's got to win their games. And at the end of the day, even with this loss, with this result, it's not over. It's just closer. You still have a chance. Go and beat your Newcastles. Go and beat whoever you got to beat. You don't have to beat City to win the league, right? That's the cool thing about leagues, right? Like you hear the saying, to be the best, you got to beat the best, right? Ric Flair, to be the man, you got to beat the man. But in a league, you don't. You can lose to your challengers, but if you beat everyone else, you're fine, right? So go beat your Newcastles, go beat your Fulhams, go beat your West Hams. And when you go beat them, you can still be the league champs. It's up to you. It's up to you. That's the challenge. If you want it bad enough, you'll go beat them. You go beat West Ham by 4. You go beat Fulham by 3. Go beat Newcastle by 2. And I promise you, at the last match day, you will be Premier League champs if you want it that bad. But we'll see what happens, man. It's a rough go for Arsenal. It shows you where they still have to improve, right? And I mean, there's a lot of critiques you can throw at them, right? Because this not only this summer, the last few summers, right? They addressed issues. They brought in Gyökeres, they brought in Havertz, they brought in Madueke, all these guys, Eze. They brought in so many people that they had 2 players or 2 strong 11s, right? They had 2 strong 11s. And that was Arteta's dream, right? To have a squad where you have 2 strong 11s. And still, you're showing up like this versus Man City. And it's not like it was going to be magically easy, but if you're showing up to the City game not on this amount of points, like if it's still close, because they still lost to Bournemouth, they still had bad results. Like that's what getting 2 strong 11s is supposed to mitigate, right? So you don't lose to your Bournemouths randomly, or you don't draw versus Wolves randomly. That's what that's supposed to be. It's unfortunate, man, but you made the sandwich. You made the sandwich. I'll say it again. You went to Subway, your transfer market, you picked out your players, and you made the sandwich. And now you're here. But you're still in it. It's not over. It's close to over, but it's not over. It feels over, but it's not over. We'll see how Arsenal respond. I actually want to say it's over, but hey, we'll see how it goes, man. It's a rough go about for Arsenal. I think at the end of the day, City showed up, and Arsenal went home. We'll see if they come back out of that. But yeah, I will be back later today with some PSG stuff. PSG play Lyon right now. I'm actually like 5 minutes late, so let me tune into this game. But yeah, Premier League is looking like cities, man. That would low key be a shame, but I'm also like, I don't care. Like, I can't feel bad for Arsenal. You shouldn't feel bad. You made the sandwich. You made your bed. Now go lay in it. Simple as that. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been your boy, Ollie Footy. Until next time, we out.